You're watching Philadelphia Eagles now. My name is Chase Sr. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. And coming up, a huge matchup on Sunday between the 3-0 Eagles and the 3-0 Buccaneers. And what I want to get into here, my keys to the game. The Eagles will beat the Buccaneers if they do these 5 following things. And let's begin here. Philadelphia cannot blitz Baker Mayfield too often on Sunday. He gets rid of the ball so quickly, and over his career, he has gotten better and better and better at diagnosing what the defense is doing, and he carves up defenses when they blitz him. And over the last 2 years, going into this year, Baker Mayfield undoubtedly has been a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And one of my bold predictions across the NFL this year was that he was going to be top 10 in MVP voting. The Buccaneers are 3-0 because of his late clutch heroics at the end of games. He has had to put the team on his back, and he has lifted them to victories in crunch time situations. And a lot of people don't realize just how great Baker was in 2024. He threw for 4,500 yards. He averaged 7.9 yards per attempt. Ladies and gentlemen, he threw 41 touchdowns to 16 picks. That led all quarterbacks in the National Football League. And for a guy who's 6'1", 215, a little bit shorter, but he sees the field well, he processes well, he can throw with a rifle, he throws with timing, touch, and anticipation, he can create plays with his legs, he's a really good athlete, we saw it at Oklahoma, and I just love the fire, the swagger, the confidence that he plays with. So far to start this year, the completion percentage is down a little bit at 60%, but he's making good decisions with the pill. 5 touchdowns, no picks. He's thrown for 382 yards in the first 3 games. Also keep in mind, this is his 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years. And going back to that original point, bad things happen when you blitz Baker Mayfield. Say that 10 times fast. In 2024, he was blitzed a league high 214 times. He fared very well. He completed 133 of 180 passes for nearly a completion percentage of 74%, nearly 1,500 yards, 16 tutties, and 4 interceptions. In week 3, the Jets didn't learn that lesson. They blitzed Baker 40% of the time, and he had a passer rating in that game of 101.7, and he helped the Buccaneers win it late with another clutch performance in the 4th quarter. The Buccaneers so far, look at all of these games. They have been close. They have been decided on the margins, and the Buccaneers have had to come back in all of these games, and they've won them all because of number 6, Baker Mayfield. 23-20 win over the Falcons, 20-19 win on the road against the Texans, Monday Night Football, and then a 29-27 win over the Jets. Vic Fangio knows ball, just like I know ball. He said this about Baker on Tuesday. I've always liked Baker Mayfield. He's a good quarterback. Why these teams that had him didn't keep him, I don't know, but GMs make mistakes just like coaches do. Remember, he gave the Browns their first playoff win since the early 90s when Bill Belichick was the head coach in Cleveland. Went on the road, beat Pittsburgh. And then the Browns shortly thereafter ship him away. He goes to Carolina. Still, Steve Wilkes got rid of him, and then Baker Mayfield shoved it in his face and delivered him an L in a Buccaneers win. Key to the game number 2. We talk about the Eagles and Vic Fangio and the Eagles defense not blitzing Baker. Well, you know what Todd Bowles is going to do, especially against Jalen Hurts. He is going to send pressure, and he is going to blitz a lot. Routinely and consistently, the Buccaneers are one of the highest blitzing teams in the NFL under Todd Bowles, who is a Temple University alum, played great college football for the Owls. Yours truly went to Temple. He's also a fan of the tush push. I like him, but I don't like him this week. And it's time for the Eagles to take down the Bowles-led Buccaneers because he has owned Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. As far as those blitz numbers here in 2025, the Buccaneers blitz 38.9% of the time. Second highest rate in the NFL. And Jalen Hurts has not played well against Todd Bowles-led defenses. He has not played well in his career against Tampa Bay. You look at the numbers here. October 14th of 2021, Hurts was 12 of 26, 115 yards, a touchdown, a pick. He was sacked twice. September 25th of 2023, the Eagles actually won this game. Hurts, 23 of 37, 277 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks, sacked once. In September of 2024, this time last year, bad game for Hurts and the offense. 18 of 30, 158 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 sacks. Now, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, and Lane Johnson did not play in that game. But Hurts, he was under siege, and the Eagles' offensive line did not handle the blitz looks well. In the playoffs against the Bucs, similar results, right? Hurts has also struggled here. In the wild card round, 2022, this is the 2021 season, 23 of 43 against Tom Brady, 258 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks, sacked twice. And then to end what was an embarrassingly bad end of the year in 2023, 25 of 35 in the Super Wildcard game, 250 yards, a touchdown, and 3 sacks. Todd Bowles has had the edge on Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, and hopefully that doesn't happen again on Sunday. Key to the game number 3. I want Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni to listen to A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. I thought they made extremely valid points, and what they said was well said after that heroic Rams victory, when the Eagles' offense was horrible in the first half and they were excellent in the second half because of some in-game adjustments. They were more aggressive. They spread things out. They had success with the 3-by-1 sets, and Jalen Hurts played like a bona fide MVP. Hurts, after recess, 16 of 22, 204 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, a rating of 140.9. For the game, 4 total touchdowns. And a big reason why the Eagles' offense and Hurts got it together after the break, they finally started targeting A.J. Brown, who in that second half also came alive. 10 targets, 6 catches, a $109, the back shoulder ball for a touchdown, beautiful throw from Jalen Hurts. The DB definitely flopped, and A.J.'s ability to make big plays on third down and pick up yak, just huge in that ball game. And Hurts said this after the game: we've played so many styles of football where in that first half, we've got to get out of this playing not to lose mentality. We've got to come out aggressive and play our game. You saw our game in the second half. It's kind of a message to the coaching staff here. So was this from AJ. Me personally, I truly believe we've got so many good players on this team, and at times you can feel like we're being conservative, and I don't think it should be like that. Let your killers do their thing, play fast, play aggressive. Not saying we haven't been, but me personally, that's what I would like. Nick Sirianni, on top of that, also said we have to stop, and we learned our lesson with this, letting the defense dictate what we do on offense. Well, sometimes with this Todd Bowles defense, when they're blitzing so much, offenses can let the defense dictate what they do offensively. They can play scared. Eagles can't play scared offensively in this game. That's another huge key. Number 4, cornerback 2 could be an issue for Philadelphia in this game because 2 of their top outside corners, outside of Quinyon Mitchell, are injured. Adoree Jackson, hurt. Jacorian Bennett, hurt. And their status for Sunday is unknown. Jason Dumas of 6ABC with this report here. I'm told both Adoree Jackson and Jacorian Bennett are dealing with injuries that could keep them out against the Buccaneers. That's a loss for the Eagles, of course. If they can't play, it'll be Keely Ringo and Mac McWilliams on the outside. And you already know, Baker Mayfield is going to be cognizant of that, and he's going to target whoever is playing cornerback 2. But the Eagles did get a big break in the lead up to this game because Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans, one of the best wide receivers of all time, he's gone over 1,000 yards every year that he's been in the NFL. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's expected to miss multiple weeks because of the hamstring injury that he suffered against the Jets on Sunday. This hamstring ailment, not as bad as last year's, which sidelined him for 3 games, but he's expected to be out for a bit. The Buccaneers do have weapons outside of Mike Evans, but they're most likely going to be without Chris Godwin as well after breaking that ankle last year and that ugly injury that he suffered earlier in the year. Another key to this game, the Eagles are going to have to tackle well. I really like the Buccaneers' 2 leading backs. Bucky Irving, year 2, Rachaad White, who's more leaned on as a pass-catching back out of the backfield, but they are both similar players in that they run physical, they run through arm tackles, they make guys miss, and they pick up yards after contact. And that can really be deflating for a defense when you cover things up so well, but you don't tackle well. So the Eagles are going to have to tackle well in one-on-one situations and in space. Emeka Egbuka, a little bit banged up, but he did play last week in the cream popsicle jerseys, which are clean. The rookie out of Ohio State, a really good player. The Buccaneers also have a really good tight end in Cade Otton, who always annihilates the Eagles. Against the Birds, he's become Baker Mayfield's best friend. And then Sterling Shepard having a pretty good year for the Bucs. I believe he's averaging about 15 yards per catch. Number 5. Special teams matter. And you can't allow special teams to lose you games. The Eagles need to clean up their kickoff returns. It was a joke what we saw against the Rams on Sunday at the Link. Joshua Carty was hitting these low line drive knuckleballs, and whether it was Tank Bigsby, whether it was John Mechie, they couldn't field a kick, and it mattered. It nearly cost Philadelphia the game. The offense was struggling, but special teams made matters worse. The average starting field position for the Eagles offense on Sunday against the Rams, the 24-yard line. The Rams' average starting field position, the 42-yard line. Ladies and gentlemen, I failed elementary algebra at Temple University. Me and Todd Bowles weren't there for math. We were there to learn ball, but that's a difference of 18 yards. Can't happen, and that gave the Rams a huge edge, and that's another reason why this Eagles defense deserves so much credit, because they bent, they did not break, they were backed up on the average starting field position going up against that Rams offense, and they gave up a lot of field goals, but not touchdowns. And Michael Clay addressed this, special teams coordinator, and he's one of the top special teams coordinators in the NFL. He says he anticipates other teams trying to kick knuckleballs at the Eagles, but replicating it the way the Rams do is not easy. Bring a kicker in who kicks some knuckleballs this week and figure it out. Now, the Eagles did try to address this week. They signed Xavier Gipson, who has 44 career returns. He's been a solid return guy for the Jets, and then he was let go recently here in September by the Giants. 5'9", $189, a 2023 UDFA out of Stephen F. Austin with the Jets from 2023 to 2025. He had the game-winning punt return for a touchdown on opening night when Aaron Rodgers made his debut and tore his Achilles against the Buffalo Bills. Huge play at MetLife Stadium that got the crowd rocking. He was with the Giants in camp, but then he was let go. He's been used as a gadget guy, as a wideout. It's not why the Eagles are bringing him in. They're bringing him in, sign him to the active roster, and they let go of Kenyon Green to be the return specialist. As a gadget guy, 27 catches, 268 yards. He has 3 total touchdowns in his career. 1 as a receiver, 1 as a runner, and then 1 as a return guy. With that, it's time. Predict the score. Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A great matchup here in Week 4 in Tampa. I think the Eagles are motivated for this game. I think they're going to be better prepared. I like how they're going to Tampa early to get acclimated with the heat. I think the Buccaneers, while they've been impressive, winning their 3 games by 1 score, and Baker Mayfield has been awesome and clutch at the end of those games, they've showed some leaky valves and they showed some holes, and I think the Eagles are a better, deeper team, and they can exploit and expose the Buccaneers to a certain degree. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's a close game between 2 of the top teams in the NFC. Eagles win 28-26. Go Birds.